So you just said something, and it the reason it made me say, "Hey, man, let me have a conversation with you." Is you said I'm in father mode right now,
right?
Okay, and so you are a young father, man.
Yes, yes, I am.
You new into this thing, and so with your daughter, what, 2?
2 years old. Yep.
2 years old. Okay, so you got 2 years of experience right now, man.
Mm-hmm.
What does being a father mean to you? As I'm asking a lot of men, all these different fathers. I just had a conversation with him, and so what does being a father mean to you?
Man, that's a good question. That's a great question, actually. To me personally, being a father is, especially as a young dude, is taking on a lot of responsibilities. Mm-hmm. As far as like me personally, I can't do things that I used to do when I didn't have a kid, like go out and party and just mess up money and things of that nature. And also, being a father is like being a protector. You know, being a protector to somebody who look up to you and needs you at all times, something like how my granddad is to probably my mama and them, or even my own dad, in some cases is to me.
Okay. So
I would just say, to answer your question for real, being a father is like having just a responsibility every single day, and you don't get to you're done. Me, I don't care about you won't care about yourself anymore.
Okay,
you know what I mean. Okay. Or you care about yourself, but it's kind of like you do everything for your kid now. Okay. So it's man.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, man.
So how do you manage how that feels? Because I'm sure, as a young father, you 24. You're 24. So, I'm sure at times that may feel overwhelming. It can feel like it's probably a lot. It's something that you probably enjoy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you handle all of that responsibility? How do you try to manage it? Is what I say.
Honestly, I pray a lot.
Okay.
I pray a lot. A lot of stuff that I don't try to worry about, I just let God handle it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And other stuff, I talk to people about, like older people who have kids, or even people who don't have kids, who just been in kids' lives, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Try to get that better understanding, that advice, because it is hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard, especially nowadays, being a young parent.
Mm-hmm.
Things are more expensive, things in the world that's going on. You kind of try to guide your kid in the right direction as best as you can, because at the end of the day, they're gonna get older and they're gonna go their own way. But try to get that blueprint for them, and just basically being there, being present. I think that's an important thing, to be present in a kid's life, so they know you love them and they remember you, things of that nature.
So, how would you say? What are some ways that you plan to show, your daughter that you love her? I mean, I know she's young now, but aside from just providing and those sort of type of things, or you have any ideas that as she gets older, hey man, I want to do this or I want to do that,
Yeah, I think about that a lot. When she gets older, I can start to see more of what she's into or what she likes. And basically it's just simple as being there for her wherever, not just providing money, clothes and things like that, but my most important is providing time, effort, energy, into my kid, because I love her, she loves me. For example, if she wants to be like, Daddy, and I know it's kind of cliche or whatever, but she want to be like, hey, you want to go do a tea party or whatever, you know what I'm saying, little things like that. I'm gonna be like, sure. Yeah, I'm sipping tea. I'm there sipping tea all day with her. And so things like that, just try to create memories, stuff that will last forever, like daddy-daughter dances and things like that. and going like being there for like little things she going through, you know, just being there. Try my best at least.
So, you know, one thing that I've heard, you know, some of the older guys talk about, and you said I'm gonna try my best. One thing that I'll just share some pieces of wisdom with you that some of the older fathers have said is that, you know, one in specific I was talking to yesterday said that, like, as a father, he's realizing he's got 3 kids. One just graduated high school and is on his way to college, and he's got one that's I think maybe like 15, and then one that's like 12 or 13. And he said what he's figured out and he's learned that his work for him is that he has to be committed to working on himself, you know, so that, you know, because sometimes people will say, oh, man, I did my best. But if you always do your best and you're always improving your best, if you're always growing, then your best is constantly getting better.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean? And so he was like, always be committed to working on you, because the better you are as an individual, the better person is going to be able to show up for this child. It's going to be able to give this child wisdom. It's going to be able to, you know, love on this child or help this child in all the ways that, you know, most parents want to be able to.
Right.
And I was like, man, wow. You know, I thought that was pretty powerful, because I hadn't heard, you know, a lot of parents say or express that, because I do hear people say, well, you know, I just want my child to know I tried my best. And he was like, well, sometimes your best may not be good enough. You know, your best today may not be good enough for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
You got to continue to work and continue to, you know, grow and mature and evolve as an individual. And so he was like, that's part of the responsibility. You know, you talked about that responsibility, this life that you know, help to create, that you're responsible for. He was like, that's part of the responsibility, is that while they're growing, I still have to grow too. You know, and he also said that it was a learning process. It doesn't stop. You know, just because your child is, you know, 30 years old, don't mean that they stop being, you know, your son or your daughter or whatever. You know, they still gonna be, you know, they still gonna be your child,
right, forever.
And so you still gonna always be a father, no matter how old they get. And so your work and that responsibility is still there. You know, your duties may change. You know what I mean? But the responsibility is still gonna be there. So
I like that.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you did, bro. I'm glad you did. I'm happy to be able to, like I said, share it with you, man. Like, I've been asking these questions to a lot of different fathers, just because this is, you know, June is Father's Day, you know, the month we celebrate fathers or acknowledge fathers. I don't think fathers always get celebrated in a good way, you know, but I wanted to try to just ask some questions. And like I said, you know, oftentimes I'm hearing from, you know, guys that are much older, different, you know, men at different stages in life. And so I feel, you know, like, hey, man, I definitely wanted to hear your perspective as a young man, you know, father, you know, and what your experience is like, you know. And part of what you, I think, have expressed is you're figuring it out. You
That's
know what I mean?
exactly what
And
I'm doing.
You said, I've been thinking about it a lot. You know, these questions that go through your head and so forth. And it's one of those situations to me where it's like, the more clear you can get on the type of father that you want to be, the things that are important to you, the things that you know, want to be able to share with your daughter. When you think about those things, then you can do something that I hear people use the expression conscious parenting. You know, you're doing something with intention. So you're not just like on autopilot over here where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm just going to, you know, wing it and see what happens, you know. Like, nah, I'm doing this with intent because I want this result to happen. And so I think the fact that you're thinking about it and you're very thoughtful about what you want and how you want this to look, I think that's a good sign, man. I think that's a great thing, man. And so, you know, I'm happy to hear that you are taking that approach, man. Yeah,
man. It's just things that's like that. When I think back before I had a kid, it's funny. It's like in my like wild days or whatever. I'm still in that, like, I'm not still young.
Right.
Like I'm not, but but when I was younger and stuff, when I wasn't even thinking about a kid, it's just like I look back and I'm like, okay, I did X, Y, Z. Now that I got a kid, especially a daughter, I want to make sure that she don't do the same crazy. I mean, she's probably is like gonna like mess up. You know, everybody messes up and does their, you know, their things like that. But I want to make sure that she at least learn from the mistakes that I had, you know, and try to guide her in the right direction, even at this young age, because it's so important. Like at the age like 2, 3, I say even 4, like those stages. That's when they really kind of like look and they kind of like start mimicking what you do.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And they and the mom, they start mimicking the mom too. So I want to have a good example set for her and let her see her dad and her mom doing the right thing. You know,
what's the right thing to you?
I mean, I was just finna say it may be really no right thing in general, but the right thing to me is just living this. I say praying, living the best you can, and like you said earlier, improving. I really do and say that I agree with that. You gotta improve every day, and just try to do good by people. Me, I'm a big believer of like doing good by people, man. Because if you do like say one day you just help people, helping people. If you help people like without trying to get something really in return and stuff, you're gonna get blessed. So I just want to have that caring spirit, that helpful spirit in her, you know. Not be mean and bitter, you know. Even though people go through stuff, but just try to be a happy person. Like I feel like you feel a lot better when you just naturally just helpful, happy, you know, and not stressing about the other stuff that's going on. That's what I want to kind of instill in her for the most part. But she obviously, when she gets older, she's gonna do her own thing and, you know, experience her own experiences. But that's just what I want to instill in her, to be honest.
Okay, so tell me, since you know you want her to be a caring person, what are some ways that you think you'll be able to do that? I mean, I know she's 2 now, but as she grows, what are some ways you think you're going to be able to, you know, help her become more of a caring person and have a heart for other people and, you know, helping people?
I mean, honestly, I'm still in the process of figuring that out. Okay. But I would say that just watch other people, like keep her around good company first.
Okay.
You know, I don't want her to be around company that's like not those type of people for real, honestly. And then just watching like her mom and dad like care for people, or even grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncles, you know what I'm saying? Care people that care. Just keep her around that, so that way when she gets older, she'll think like, okay, this is how you treat, this is how you act, this is how you treat people, this is how you know, I seen my dad, I seen my uncle, I seen my mom or something been doing this, so this is what I'm gonna do because I've been seeing it. This is what I was taught. So, but obviously when she gets older, she gets a little bit more she think for herself and stuff. But I want to instill that in her for the most part. That's what I would do. I would just keep her around good people, good energy.
I love it, man. I love it.
That's what I would do for sure.
You know, something that I'll say, and I'm not a father, or I don't have any children, you know, but
yeah, but you've been around. Like,
I've been around a whole bunch of them.
Yeah,
you know. Something I'll tell you that it's just helped me in a bunch of different, you know, areas of life is being able to think with the end in mind. And so what I mean by that is when you know the outcome that you're trying to get to, when you know the result that you want to achieve, it's oftentimes easier to work backwards from there to see how you can do that. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, you know, you like, oh man, I want to do this, or, you know, I'm trying to do that and I don't know how to get there. But like, if you know exactly where you're going, now you can figure out the directions on how to get there. So it's almost like when you put, you know, a destination into the GPS, you know what I'm saying, oh, the direction's going to pop up real quick on terms of how to get there, right?
Right, exactly.
But you out here on the street and you like, man, I'm trying to get to Six Flags or I'm trying to get to Cobb Parkway, and you just out here riding, like, hey, bro, the chances you getting there efficiently, it's going to be slim to none, bro, because you're going to drive around, you're going to make a lot of mistakes, you're going to be on this street, you're going to be on that street, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're going to get lost a lot of times versus like, okay, I know I want to go to this place ahead of time, and okay, let me figure out what it is. And so it's almost like one of those things where, you know, one of the fathers I was talking to earlier this week, he was just like, you know, once you understand some of the things that you want to instill, what are some of the values, you know what I mean? How do I want my child to behave? How do I want them to be as a human being? How do I want them to treat other people? And that's some of the stuff that you've already expressed that you've been thinking about. But it's like, once you got that list and you kind of like written it out and you know, okay, man, I want my daughter to be, you know, smart. Okay, so I need to make sure that she's got tutoring or she's got this. And
exactly. Okay.
we start education stuff early, right? Oh, okay. I want her to be kind. I want her to see good people. So I'm going to put her around good people. I'm going to give her those examples. You know, I want my daughter to sing, or I want my daughter to play an instrument, so I got to go get musical classes. And so you begin to understand exactly what to do.
Right.
You love to cook, right?
Yeah, love it.
Okay. Now, there's a couple of different ways you could go about doing things, right? When you cooking and you at the restaurant, hey, somebody come in and they tell you, oh, man, we need a cheeseburger like this, this, and this. You already know what ingredients to go to get that, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's certain stuff that somebody tell you that you know that this is a requirement to make this meal.
Right.
This meal can't be made without these ingredients.
Right.
And it's the same concept, like, okay, when you figuring out how you want your child to, you know, be, is you're guiding them, you know, hey, man, what's the ingredients that's going to be needed, you know, for this recipe to produce this.
Right.
You know, and so
that's well said right there.
You know, thank you. I think that I think you're gonna be a good father, man. I think that and again, good is subjective. You know, I asked this question because that's what a lot of people say. Good, right? You know, good. I asked a question to some guys, and I was like, "Well, how do you know if you're a good father?" You know what I mean? And I'm gonna ask you the same question. Like, what do you think makes a good father?
That is a good question. I mean, a good father to me, this is just my opinion. Yeah. Is like just being present. Like being present in your kids. Like I try to say that just for people like that really didn't. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm still figuring out. But I, like young people that's fathers and maybe they didn't have their father or something or whatever in their life like that, like or they didn't have their mom or whoever. Just being present and just showing them that you love them, like genuinely love, like agape love, like genuine love. And I feel like the rest, everything else will settle itself. Like if you really honestly, if your child knows that you love them and like sees it and they feel it, breathe it, everything, it won't matter if you don't got 2 cents in your pocket, you living in a shack somewhere or whatever. That love ain't never gonna break. That love, and I'm just big on love. Loving your kid, being there for your kid, and just and honestly, my last thing is when they get, because I know I still do this, and my daughter's only 2 years old. Listening to them,
okay,
listening, like actually listen to them, okay. And what I mean by that is like my daughter, she says little words and stuff now, right? Like dad, and you know, I want to do this, and it might not be perfect English, but right. I listen to her, and and I can tell she knows that I'm listening. So she'll have a whole conversation, baby conversation, and I'll talk to her like we just, you know, back and forth regular. I don't talk to her like a baby. I talk to her like she a human, like you just regular. And that's really important. And I feel like when she gets older and she gets better with her speeches and her conversations and things like that, that would be a detrimental part. That would be real important. I think she'll really appreciate that, and I would appreciate that myself. When my like folks, my mom in particular, she listens to me. You know, when I have any issues or problems or whatever, it's not just like a okay, just figure it out, you know what I'm saying? Or you do this, trying to tell me. Now, it's sit down and talk and have a conversation and listen. That's important. Love, listening, and just taking care of stuff. That's basically what I would say. So that's to become a good father.
So I love that, and I think that's very well said. I think those are all great ways to do it, you know. And, you know, I think just you know, listening to you, I can hear your heart, you know, as you speak, and how much you care, and you know, you're sincere about wanting the best for your child, right? You know.
Yeah.
And I think you hit the nail on the head, man. You said listening is part of, you know, giving people attention, man, and a basic need that we all have is that we all want to be heard.
Everybody.
You know, we want to be understood. You know, we want to be seen. And so, you know, as a parent, if you can help your child to feel seen, to be heard, to be understood by you, then when they go out into the world, with so much more confidence.
Yeah.
They go out with so much more self-worth and self-value, because the people that created me see value in me. They see and they love me and they care about me enough to listen to me.
Exactly.
And so you help shape, you know, the type of people that she's going to want to be around. She want to be around people that demonstrate that exact same type of thing, you know. And so I think that's really powerful, man. And so even though you still learning on the job, man, you still, you know, figuring things out, and you know, it's early in the game for you, man. I think that you already have a great approach, man, and how you are, you know, approaching the responsibility of being a father, man. And I'm happy to hear it, man. I'm proud of you, man, you know, for taking that approach, man. And I appreciate you sharing it, man. In your 2 years, what advice would you give to somebody who just found out, another young cat that, you know, he might be 22, 23, you know, might be 21, you know, just find out, old girl call him, hey, man, you know, hey, I got one on the way. What advice would you give him, you know, in terms of being a father based off of, you know,
man,
what you know so far?
I would tell, the first thing I'm going to tell them on, like, being for real, don't panic. Do not panic. Because it's not going to make anything better if you panicking. So deal with that. You know, you gotta you did your dirt. So you just gotta deal with it. And your next step is figuring out what you gonna do after you find out, oh she's pregnant. Are you gonna be the type that's like, all right, let me get things in motion and try to, you know, like better myself so I can be better, like you said earlier, for this upcoming kid? Or are you gonna like duck, you know? So it's two options, and sometimes the easier option a lot of times is for now, you know, especially nowadays, is for the men to be like, oh, I'm gone. Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and leave. I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna leave this with my girlfriend or baby mama or whoever, you know. But I would say, nah, dude, don't do that. Don't do that. Go and spend as much time as you can with that woman. Even if y'all not on good terms, you gotta man up, grow, you know. Go ahead and make sure when she is pregnant, when you start seeing that baby bump, don't stress her out. Make sure she's at least try not to stress her out, because it's easier said than done. But don't stress her out, because the baby's gonna know that even though the baby's in the stomach, the baby will come out, you know, kind of and stressed already. If that makes sense,
100%.
you know.
Yes, you are 100% right.
Yeah, come on, stressed already. So you want to have like a level head. At the end of the day, you will be a man. You a young man. You're gonna have to take care of business now. You're gonna have to take care of business and prepare yourself too. Also prepare yourself to what's gonna come as far as like diapers. Scratch that. When you in the hospital. When you're in the hospital, you got to stay there for 3-4 days, maybe 5 days. This is where you need to getting your plan together for real. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and set this up. Oh, I'm gonna get this diapers, Pampers, or I'm gonna make sure she's my baby mama or my wife's girlfriend is taken care of the whole time. That's really important, and that's something that I didn't know.
Okay.
At first.
Okay.
And this is advice I give a young dude like me. Like, that is so important. You have to, man. Even if you cannot stand the woman, you know, or can't stand the person, you still have to make sure that woman is comfortable. Because at the end of the day, she is having your kid, and that's like the best thing in the world. And like to do, like, that's a blessing, you know.
Amen.
Is have a kid, so. Please don't stress it. Please don't stress, because the baby gonna come out stressed out. The mama gonna be stressed out, and then if the mama and the baby stressed out, guess what? You stressed out. so
that's simple math. Right
simple
there.
Like 1 + 1 is 2. Like, that's simple. So I had to learn that as when I was first with my baby mother, when we first got out of the hospital. And we were taking care of a kid, like together. I would like, we would get into it sometimes, and then I'll realize I'll look over and I'll see like my baby, she'll cross and you know, and it's not like how we'll get into it and then like we don't have a kid. Now we got somebody here watching, listening, hearing everything, and as my baby grew up, I kind of seen how that affected her a little bit.
Okay.
Because she gets a little anxious a lot sometimes.
Okay.
And she doesn't, and even when like me and my baby mother will like play around and stuff and things of that nature, she'll like run over and like I notice like she'll run over and think like, you think like we like serious, you know, and she'll get like, no, mommy, daddy, no, and I'll be like, nah, it's all right, baby, like we just, you know,
yeah.
But that stuff, and I know that happened from when she was younger. We'll get into it and stuff. So I can't change my past. I can only build on my future. But I would say that for dudes, I would say that that's really one of the most important things that people, like guys, overlook, especially young guys like myself. They'll overlook. Just being there for your woman, most definitely being there for your woman. That's what I'll say, and being prepared.
Okay, that's awesome. I'm gonna ask you one last question. Hold that thought for just a second, folks. Okay, so my final question for you is this, and this is something that I asked this question because I spoke to a lot of younger fathers. And when I say younger, not even as young as you, just first time fathers. I got some guys, I got a couple of them that were like in their 40s. And they were just like, man, it would have been nice to have, you know, like a father mentor, you know, somebody that's like got a little bit more experience doing this than I do. That, you know, hey man, they may be able to, you know, give me some tips and some advice or some pointers. So, you know, what I'll say is, what do you think you might need from, you know, older men that may be able to help you in your fatherhood journey?
Well, I want to know the highs and the lows. So what I mean by that is, like, I want to know what was the great times and what was the easy things as being a father, like, and what were some of the hard times, like, what were their stories? I want to just pick their brain and know their stories, so because I know it's not all pieces of cream, and they want all pieces of cream with me. So I would say I would ask that, and then I would ask, how did you handle those situations when things got a little tough? Things, you know, whether it's financial, emotional, physical, mental, you know, how did you handle those situations? And depending on the answer, I'll take bits and pieces and put that in my own, you know, my own life and try to better myself, like you said earlier, to better my kid. And my last thing I would do is I'll sit them, I'll be like, be honest. Like, what did you want to, did you expect it? Did you expect this? Like, you know, did you expect you to be where you were at? You know what I'm saying? And depending on their answer, I'll take that and run with it. Some fathers will say, no, I didn't expect that, you know, I didn't expect to be in this position, but then they'll give me what they did after that. Or some fathers be like, yeah, I did expect this, and this is what I did from expecting this XYZ. You know, just little things like that I'll try to take from older people, or not even older people, like just fathers that have been fathers for a long time, basically. And I kind of was lucky and had like a stepfather to kind of like tell me and show me the way a little bit. So that made things a little easier, not gonna lie. But people who don't have that privilege or don't have that, like that big brother, that mentor, I would definitely try to at least find somebody to, because you can't figure everything out on any of you think you can. Like, you're gonna need some advice, need some help with something. So yeah, that's what I'll ask. Those couple questions.
I appreciate it, man. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your thoughts.
Oh yeah, man.
I appreciate you having a cut and a conversation, man.
Yeah, man. Of course, man. Anytime.
Definitely, man. I think you well on your way, man. I think that